Good afternoon, class. Welcome back. I believe that you all are keeping well and excited to know about the Indian politics after independence, as you already know the challenges of nation building because of the partition. I believe that you're excited to know how the process of partition took place in 1947. So before we proceed to the process of partition of India in 1947, let us quickly recap what we have learned yesterday. We have learned that the famous speech Tries with Destiny was given by Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of Free India, addressing the people, the citizens at the Red Fort. The second thing we learned was the two goals that everyone agreed upon to work after the independence was to establish a democratic government and to run the government for the good of all the people, especially for the poor and the disadvantages. And we also learned the three major challenges faced by the people, that is, to unite the people, to establish democracy, and to ensure development for all kinds of society. Now, let us see how the process of partition took place in India in 1947. Even before independence, the British had sown the seeds of hostility between India and Pakistan, which brought about the nation on the brink of partition. According to the two-nation theory advanced by the Muslim League, India consisted of two people, that is, Hindus and the Muslims, and demanded Pakistan a separate country for the Muslims. On 14 to 15 August 1947, the British government declared partition of the country along with its independence. Religious majority was made on the basis of partition. Such a division was not only very painful but also very difficult to decide and implement. It was decided to follow the principle of religious majorities. This basically means that areas where the Muslims were in majority would make up the territory of Pakistan, the rest was to stay with India. So the Congress opposed this theory and demand for Pakistan. But several political development in the 1940s, the political competition between the Congress and the Muslim League and the British rule led to the decision for the creation of Pakistan. So the Congress political leaders opposed the two-nation theory. They could not prevent it, thus the country was divided into India and Pakistan, and on the basis of the religious majorities. And this basically means that the areas where the Muslim were in majority would make up the territory of Pakistan, and the rest was to stay with India. During the partition, there was not a single belt of majority Muslim area in British India. There were two areas of concentration, one in the west and the one in the east. There was no way these two parts could be joined. So it was decided that the new country, Pakistan, would comprise of two territories, West and East Pakistan, separated by a long expanse of Indian territory, which you could see here on the screen. Another problem faced during the process of partition was that not all the Muslim majority areas wanted to be a part of Pakistan. For example, we can take Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was a very strong leader in the northwestern frontier province, and he is commonly known as the Frontier Gandhi. He strongly opposed the two-nation theory, but his voice was eventually simply ignored, and the northwestern frontier province was made to merge with Pakistan. Another problem was that the two of the Muslim majority province of British India, that is Punjab and Bengal, had a very large areas where the non-Muslim were in majority. Eventually, it was decided that these two provinces would be bifurcated according to the religious majority at the district or even lower level. However, this decision could not be made by the midnight of 15 to 14 August, and it meant that a large number of people did not know on the day of independence whether they were in India or in Pakistan. The partition of these two provinces caused the deepest rumor of partition. Another problem was the problem of minorities on both sides of the border. Thousands and lakhs of Hindus and Sikhs were in the areas that were now in Pakistan, and equally a large number of Muslims on the Indian side of Punjab and Bengal, and to some extent Delhi and surrounding areas found themselves trapped. They were to discover that they were undesirable aliens in their own home in the land where they were and their ancestors had lived for centuries. As soon as it became clear the country was going to be partitioned, and the minorities on both sides became easy targets of attack. No one had ever imagined the scale of this problem. No one had ever plans for handling this. Initially, the people and the political leaders kept hoping that this violence was temporary and would be controlled soon. But very soon the violence went out of control. The minorities on both sides of the border were left with no option except to leave their homes and migrate to a new place. In 1947, after the partition of India, a large number of population was forced to migrate across the borders, and it is one of the largest, most abrupt, unplanned, and tragic transfer of population that human history has known. There was killing in the name of religion. The regions where Hindus and Sikhs were dominant, Muslim people stopped going there, and in the same way, where Muslims were dominant, Hindus and Sikh people stopped going there. They were made aliens in their own land, and police and local administrations treated them unkindly. Partition was not just division of assets and liabilities, but division of communities who live as neighbors and were made victim of violence by each other. During the partition, many people were killed, women were adopted and raped, and in some cases, women were killed by their own family members to preserve their family honor. Many children were separated from their parents. And not only that, during the partition of India into two nations, there was a serious problem of rehabilitation of refugees. In 1947, Delhi, thousands of refugees migrated to New Delhi. They left their ancestral homes back in Pakistan in the wake of communal violence. The violence against Hindus in Pakistan provoked the violence against Muslims in India. Refugees had left their property and home in Pakistan. Hence, there was a very serious issues need to be resettled them. During the partition again, cities like Lahore, Amritsar, Kolkata transformed into a wrestling arenas. Hindus stopped going in Muslim dominated areas and Muslims stopped going in areas where Hindus were dominated. Minorities were forced to leave their homes to save their lives. Communal riots inflicted deep injuries on the lives of the people. Thus, partition was described as division of hearts. Let us quickly summarize today's class. We have learned about the process of partition, the difficulties of partition, and the consequences of partition. In the following classes, we will be dealing how India has integrated and convinced the princely states to join India, and then how India started to reorganize the different states according to their language and their culture. Thank you.